This week I have Burial Ground, aka Nights of Terror, even though it only has one night in it, aka Zombie Horror, aka The Zombie Dead, aka Zombie 3, which is a 1981 Italian grindhouse zombie film directed by Andrea Bianchi. If the fact this flick has 5 titles and is an 80s Italian zombie flick described as grindhouse isn't enough to tip you off as to just how bad this movie is, then strap in, because this is some of the most truly wild shit I think I've ever seen, including a fair old dash of Oedipal vibes. Let's cover the plot first, mainly because there isn't one. Well, there's an opening scene of an archaeologist or scientist or some such discovering an Etruscan crypt, opening it and unleashing zombies before 3 couples and a child turn up to get munched on count as a plot, because that's the entirety of the narrative in this 85-minute long film. Set up, build up and payoff in the first 3 minutes. It's a land speed record. That's not to say nothing happens. Lots of really crazy things happen, there's just no plot at all to be found anywhere beyond that opening scene. Of course, the scientist is eaten by zombies pre-credit roll, and I noted here in my notes that the special effects are awful, which they are kind of, but I'd actually like to say that there is a surprising amount of variety and grossness about the zombies throughout this. Lots of maggots and worms on rotten faces and dog food filled papier-mâché head explosions to keep you entertained if you're into that kind of thing, and very, very red guts being munched on and dragged out of goop-filled dummies. It's never at all terrifying, or even remotely convincing, but bonus points for trying. That didn't stop our friends at the BBFC though from cutting 13 minutes from the runtime in the UK on its initial release in 1986, before finally allowing it uncut on DVD or Blu-ray in 2016, which is what I of course watched. Once the scientist guy is eaten, we get 3 very, very horny couples who he has invited for some strange reason to his mansion to turn up, and a 10-year-old child. More about him later, because good god, this child. Of course we get the usual terrible lip syncing that all Italian movies at this time had, due to them speaking whatever native language the actor spoke on set. After that we get some sleazy nudity, with 2 extremely unsexy sex scenes and the small child walking in on his mother doing it, which she doesn't seem too bothered about covering herself up. This is what is called foreshadowing in the script writing business, I believe. Saying that, it's probably being overly generous to this film, accusing it of having one. Also, there's something very unsettling about this 10-year-old boy, almost like he's a 25-year-old man, but more about him later. Plus the acting, oof, it's next level terrible, especially the blonde-haired woman whose only role seems to be a scream, which is what she does now instead of getting naked like the other 2 couples, because she has a bad feeling about this place. We are 11 minutes in at this point, and I'm going to be honest with you, there isn't much else to say about Burial Grounds, or Nights of Terror, or whatever it's calling itself this week, because you've seen pretty much everything it has to offer in those first 11 minutes. Because the next 74 minutes are just one long zombie attack and the small child sexually molesting his mother. I have written down some scenes of note though. We get the annoying screaming woman getting her leg stuck in a bear trap before her boyfriend almost gets himself killed because they clearly didn't have the budget to skewer this zombie with a garden rake. Zombies on fire, which is way less exciting than it sounds really. They use tools now. Because yes, zombies use tools to decapitate people and gain entry into the mansion. It's at this point I kinda got bored of taking notes. That is until the 10-year-old boy sexually molests his mother and asks to suck on her titties. Yes, I'm not making this up, this is a scene that happens. The mother refuses, and the boy, who was in fact a 25-year-old actor by the name of Peter Bark, because it turns out that even Italy has laws about having children perform sexual acts in films, runs off and is instantly eaten by one of the other females who has by this point been turned into a zombie herself. I would love to say that was the end of the creepy 10/25-year-old boy and his obsession with his mother's titties, but alas, it is not. because the final scene of this shitfest is Michael, for that is his name, returning as a zombie, and his mother allowing him to suck on her milk udders so he can breastfeed, or whatever. I have no idea what is happening here at this point. My brain has turned to mush and dribbled out of my nose. This is the entirely foreseeable result. He eats her tits, and she dies. The end. As the annoying blonde woman screams a bit more. Oh, and the end is a text card prophecy for reasons. Is Burial Grounds a good movie? Well, no. It's a terrible movie that has absolutely zero plot. It's cheap, sleazy, gross, tasteless, and has so many what the fuck am I watching moments in it, that it's very much a movie you should get a big group of people round to watch who enjoy bad cult movies. Get some beers and slap it in the VCR, because it will go down an absolute treat in that setting. Any other setting? Just watch the first 11 minutes and you've seen the entire thing basically. If you enjoyed that, then please like, comment and subscribe for more, because I'll be back next week with Warlock.